11 bulletproof signs your ex regrets dumping you. The most painful emotion that you can experience in your life is when your girlfriend or boyfriend leaves you. No matter how hard you try to forget the awful feeling, there are certain signs your ex regrets dumping you. If you have ever wondered whether or not your ex-partner regrets breaking up with you and losing you, his behavior, or rather his actions, that follow after may tell you a great deal about that. Before we go to the video, for more slimmer content, like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Also, don't forget to hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on any further videos. Men and women feel differently. A man's chain of thoughts operates pretty logistically. A lot of times women think that men are very confusing and hard to understand, when that is not actually the case. Men, like women, hate the feeling of being alone. Well, most of them do. Nevertheless, they don't want to be broken up with, so if they feel that they'll be left alone, they tend to break up with you first. Believe me, men are also searching for comfort, trust, and someone whom they can lean on. The difference between men and women is very small. Nonetheless, if he feels like he is not being treated well and is being neglected by his woman, he will eventually pull away, first emotionally and then physically. Men receive love differently. When searching for the one, they search for someone whom they can trust. They need to trust their partner's words and intentions. And if they don't trust you, they will break up with you. First, we're going to look at the possible reasons why he left you, and then we'll focus onto the possible signs you can look out for to see if he regrets dumping you in the first place. There are numerous possible reasons as to why he left you. Maybe he broke up with you because you were jealous. Jealousy is not a characteristic that anybody loves. If you are dating a really confident guy, believe me, he'll be turned off by your jealousy. I know that is something you don't want to hear, but just like men, women tend to be overprotective sometimes and become jealous. As I mentioned before, trust is really important to men, so if you start to question his connection with you, he will start to pull away. The source of your jealousy could be one of numerous. Maybe you have a valid reason to be suspicious and jealous if he is being disrespectful toward you. Another source of jealousy might be if you are feeling down and negative thoughts start to occupy your mind. If the reason is the latter, I'm sorry to tell you, but you need to work on your feelings and address your own issues before you mirror them in your relationship. You might be feeling off sometimes, and that is okay. That is justifiable. But you need to know how to work on those emotions. Another thing that might seem to justify a breakup would be if he wants space. Women are aware of the fact that men need their space. They enjoy hanging out with their boys, drinking beer, playing video games, and whatever. Nevertheless, if you expect to follow your man wherever he goes, you'd be wrong. You should not expect that, nor should you try to search for anything on his phone late at night. You need to give him personal space and have trust that he belongs only to you. Remember, you chose him in the first place. There are other issues both internally and externally that you should be worrying about instead. Believe me, a man doesn't want to spend every second with you. He wants you to feel like every second he actually spends with you is unique. If you don't expect your partner to be codependent and clingy, then you shouldn't behave like that either. He may take advantage of the situation of the fact that you are being needy and walk all over you. Believe me, you should never give a man the feeling of having full control over you or over your relationship. The reason why he broke up with you could be that he wasn't ready for a serious relationship. Maybe he wanted to keep it casual. Men are strange human beings. Sometimes you just happen to meet a guy who wants to use you because he's bored of being alone. Or he might want to have a rebound relationship to get over his ex. You'll never know if you don't ask him. Maybe his feelings are not in order and he's just depressed and tries to fill the void with you. I know that is not a proper way to behave toward a woman, but you never know what someone's intentions are when you first meet them. Lack of trust may be the exact reason why he pulled away and dumped you. After all, the reason for this could be various. Maybe he did something that shattered your trust, like tell a big fat lie, or maybe he cheated on you. The thing is, it takes time and effort to develop trust. It may be hard to get back on track once it has been broken. Maybe he had a bad experience in his last relationship and he isn't ready to leave it in the past. When there is a lack of trust, the overall atmosphere in the relationship is very dark and heavy, and you are always looking over your shoulder. There is never time to relax and just enjoy each other's presence. If the trust is gone, most men won't put the effort in to repair it, so the easiest thing to do is leave. He wanted different things from you, and that is why he broke up. Having the same goals and views about certain things is essential for every successful relationship. Maybe he wanted to focus on his career first and then jump into marriage, but your opinion differed from his, so he just broke up with you. Maybe he was still not over his ex while you planned to move in with him. However, when your views and goals are different, that is when your paths diverge and you end up alone again. Another possible reason why he broke up with you is actually the simplest one, and that is that he just isn't into you. Not every man that you meet will or should be the one. Some of them will stay longer, some for a short period of time, but when you find the one, everything will change. Timing can play a huge role in how a relationship will develop and where it is actually headed. And if you're watching this video, then you're probably heartbroken and you know that he is not the one. Believe me, it is better to hear the words, "you are not the one," sooner rather than later. Relationships take time to flourish. They take a lot of dedication and effort and sacrifice. Nevertheless, if you are wondering whether your ex regrets dumping you, then brace yourself for the next part of the video, as you're about to find out if he feels any remorse for leaving you. These signs your ex regrets dumping you may refer to his behavior or they may refer to some of his actions. Those signs are: Number 1, he stalks you. Yes, the most obvious sign that he can't get over you and regrets dumping you in the first place is when he stalks you. When an ex is eager to find out what you are doing or where you are and with whom, there's no better place to find that out than by stalking you on your social media. By stalking you, he is unintentionally showing you that he is still obsessed with you. His initial impulsive desire is to know everything about you, to know your whereabouts because he still cares about you. It becomes something of a passion of his to accidentally see you on the street and pretend that he didn't know you were there. His emotions have a hold on him and the only thought in his mind is whether or not you were with someone else. Maybe he was controlling in the first place, so be careful if you have broken up with this kind of person. Number 2, he becomes more loving towards you. A great sign your ex regrets dumping you is if he is being more thoughtful and affectionate than he was before. He is actually trying to show you that he regrets leaving you in the first place. You know how poorly he treated you when you were in a relationship, and now suddenly he's a changed man and realizes that he took you for granted. Yes, that is when you know he regrets it. Maybe he mentions a couple of positive memories just to throw you or make you smile, but remember, he dumped you. He will start acting all weird, but he now wants you to feel loved and cared for. These were not the feelings you encountered when you were in a relationship. All of a sudden, he has started showing them and wants to remind you of the endless possibilities that may emerge if the two of you get back together. Number 3, he starts talking about his current problems. Sometimes a sign that your ex-partner regrets dumping you is when he talks about the issues he is having in his current relationship. That is awkward, I get it, but sometimes a man tries to reconnect with his ex even if he is presently with someone else. He talks about the problems he is facing and starts to compare them to the problems that you both faced when you were in a relationship. He might even go a step further and ask for your advice, even though you are the last person he should go to for that. Or maybe he even talks about the possibility of you two getting back together. Number 4, he suddenly calls you. A call is a call no matter what he says. When a man calls you, he is definitely thinking about you. The thing you need to be aware of is what he is talking about. From the topic, you may be able to distinguish whether he regrets breaking up with you. Also, be aware of his tone. If he has a low tone of voice, he might be feeling sad and lonely. There are 2 ways that you can interpret his call. It may be positive or neutral. He might be calling because he tried to date other girls, but none of them came close to you, so he called you to tell you that he is sorry. Another reason for his call might be because of a life-changing decision that he has made. Maybe he is moving to another city, or he got a new girlfriend. Either way, the real reason why he is calling is that he regrets dumping you. Number 5, he says that he desperately needs you. A great sign your ex regrets dumping you is the famous "I need you in my life" sentence. It is a symbol of weakness, sadness, and regret. He may be being needy or clingy. Nevertheless, this shows that he depends on you and your encouragement and affection. He doesn't want you to be away from him. His desire is to keep you close so that he will have some kind of emotional support from you whenever he needs it. His life is not easier without you in it. He relies on you and on what you previously built in your relationship. Your emotional support represents the pillar of his emotional stability, so this is a great sign that he regrets dumping you. If you want to be together with him again, he needs to realize first that it is you who makes him stronger, and he needs to verbalize that. Number 6, he tries to sweet talk your friends. This happens quite a lot when an ex-couple share mutual friends. He tries to make his presence and opinions visible by using your friends. The instances when this repeatedly happens are after your friends have witnessed your growth and fall, where he will try to win them over. He may sweet talk them at first, but then he will try to ask them for forgiveness. Eventually, his intention will be for them to think how great he is, for it to get back to you. No matter how hard we try not to listen to our friends, their opinions mean the most to us. It is more likely that you will give in if your friends keep saying how great your ex was and how he has greatly improved his behavior and changed overall. That is his attempt to win you over again, and it is an obvious sign your ex regrets dumping you. Number 7, he asked for forgiveness many times. There are different sides to every story. Like in every relationship, everyone regrets hurting the one that they once loved. So just like you want to apologize for your mistakes, so does he. The difference is the reason behind the apology. You may want to apologize for hurting him by doing certain things, but he may want to apologize because he regrets dumping you. He may or may not have a secret agenda. He might apologize because he wants to alleviate his guilt, or might be because he needs your support. You became such a vital part of his life that his emotional stability has crumbled. Despite everything that he has done, you should always listen to what your ex has to say. If he really means it when he says that he is sorry, you will know from his tone of voice and his approach. Just wait and see what his next move will be. It will undoubtedly happen, you just have to wait for a couple of days for him to gather the courage and tell you what is on his mind. Number 8, he behaves hot and cold. Have you ever had a guy going hot and cold on you all the time? His mood swings just like a pendulum. First he seems cold and distant, and then he comes right back with the words, "I want you back." This is his way of showing you that he's still interested in you and regrets dumping you. He might go cold for a couple of days, meaning he's angry at himself for dumping you. And suddenly he reappears, saying all this sweet stuff just to get you back. This can tell you that he is having a hard time processing his thoughts and the emotions that typically appear after a breakup. Number 9, he flirts with you. Flirting shows that you are attracted to someone, and by doing so, you are initializing a romantic encounter. If your ex is engaging in a flirtatious manner toward you, that is a surefire sign that he regrets dumping you. He wants to be around you and wants to feel your presence. He feels a strong connection with you and wants to shorten the distance between the two of you and try to make things right this time. You need to pay attention to his body language and touches, since they will tell you a lot about his intentions. His affection towards you will be noticeable in his tone of voice and the comments he makes about you. These signs that you saw when he had a crush on you and the signs that he regrets dumping you are very much similar. Number 10, his life takes an unexpected turn. One of the best signs your ex regrets dumping you is when something unpredictable happens, and then he realizes that he regrets ever letting you go. People make bad decisions only to realize later that they made a huge mistake. He realized he lost something that was worth fighting for to the end. He's explored enough on his own to think about everything that happened, and now he genuinely regrets dumping you. Your ex now comprehends what a huge mistake he made. His insecurity and weakness might hit him shortly after you break up, so he will seek you out to assist him and provide him with some much-needed emotional support. In the meantime, the best way to make him regret dumping you is to apply the no-contact rule and stick to it. Number 11, he is scared. An ex who regrets dumping you will want you back eventually, once he realizes how important you are to him. After all, he wants you for himself, so he'll be depressed if you explore the possibility of seeing someone other than him. He will make his opinions known, trust me, and he'll be vocal if you start dating someone else. He believes that you need his approval. His conversations with you will revolve around how bad that guy is for you, how he is better, and so on. The actual truth is that he wants you for himself, and that he wants you to go back to him. If you didn't have any bad moments in your relationship, maybe you should give your ex a second chance. These signs will only help you notice whether he truly regrets dumping you in the first place. I know that your emotions will cloud your judgment, so give yourself time to heal first, and then focus on figuring out what you really want in your life. I have given you various possible reasons why he broke up with you, if you were left without an explanation, and I have given you some of the signs that show that your ex regrets dumping you. It is up to you to assess the situation and make a decision.